Hey, do you like movies? You do? Then I bet you're already very familiar with our friends over at Vinegar Syndrome. Vinegar Syndrome is one of the leading exploitation and grindhouse preservation and distribution companies in the world. The company was started by cinephiles Joe Rubin and Ryan Emerson and was said to be, quote, perhaps the most important home video label in the world of genre film by the Alamo Drafthouse. Holy shit, that is one hell of an endorsement.
A big part of that is because of a three-step process I lovingly refer to as the 3 R's. Recover, restore, and release. Vinegar Syndrome has an expansive film archive of over 500 feature films, and they also work closely with archival institutions like the Museum of Modern Art, the Academy... Yeah, MoMA! The Academy Film Archive, the Library of Congress, UCLA, and the Walker Center. I can't even count how many of their releases have either never gotten a physical release or haven't been seen since the days of VHS. Many of these films look better than they have any right to look.
My favorite thing about Vinegar Syndrome is that they have their own in-house lab, which they use to restore these films to all of their glory. I can honestly say that I have never seen any grain reduction or digital trickery on their discs. Vinegar Syndrome was one of our first sponsors, and I'm overjoyed to say that they've stuck with us for 5 years.
I'm still surprised we stuck around for 5 years, to be completely honest with you.
That we've stuck with each other.
Yeah, I know. I really thought we'd be done after the first couple months in the first season.
We're still kicking, baby!
Yeah, we are. So check out their website today to pick up your copies of the Forgotten Jolly collections 1, 2, and 3. Though one might be out of print, so if you see it, make sure you grab it. Satan's Blood, Fade to Black, a VHS favorite amongst a lot of cinephiles that was unable to be released for a very long time. Taxi Girls, Don Coscarelli's Beastmaster, an HBO late-night favorite. The 3D film Silent Madness, and the weirdo French Christmas horror film Dial Code Santa Claus, aka Deadly Game, and many, many more.
Visit them today at vinegarsyndrome.com and let them know that the Shameless Picture Show sent you.
That's right, vinegarsyndrome.com for all the cult, horror, exploitation, and vintage porn you could ever want.
However much that may be.
Yeah, exactly. Are you cool with this going live to the world?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
I'm about to say, you like any excuse to get your name out there.
Yeah, like going live was always a good time. So
all right, so let's do that, and then we'll have the really awkward tradition of everyone but Nick going to their socials and trying to share it.
It's awkward for you guys.
Yeah, well, that means it's awkward for you because then you have to fill in more time.
I'm an attention whore. You know that I love that.
It's true. So, do you guys want to do a quick little what we're watching before we talk about the movie or after?
I'm down for either. If you want
Nick,
to do that now,
question
that's
for us
fine.
towards you.
Let's do it now.
Let's do it.
All right. Austin, since you are the guest, you can kick us off. Just tell us a couple things that you've been watching that you've been into.
What have I been watching? So, I'm doing my 31 days of Halloween or 31 days of horror or what have you. And it's all Scream Factory titles that I might have bought them and seen them, but I haven't watched this specific copy. So I've been watching a lot of cool shit over the entire month. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is...
Which one?
The remake from 79?
Oh,
78?
Donald Sutherland?
Yeah.
Was that Jeff Goldblum, too?
Yeah, young Jeff Goldblum. Like,
Right.
super, like, this is pre-Fly, this is like 8 years
so
before
young
Fly.
that he hasn't really figured out how to be Jeff Goldblum.
Right, yeah. It was very interesting to see him in such an early role, because the earliest thing I had seen him in, I think, was The Fly, and that's like 86, I believe.
Oh, let's look it up. I want to curious what the first thing I saw, what the earliest thing I've seen.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
I feel like for a lot of us, Jurassic Park was the first thing that we've seen. But what was the?
I was going to say, that's probably the first thing I saw him in was Lost World.
I actually think Invasion of the Body Snatchers is the first thing I've seen Jeff Goldblum in.
Okay, yeah, and that was I'd watched that for the first time this watch, and I was like, that is one of the greatest movies that has ever been made. I love it. So it became like an instant hit with me. I rewatched Prince of Darkness recently, which is an all-time favorite of mine. Then I redid all the Paranormal Activities because I'm a huge sucker for found footage. And then I also watched The Blob for the first time, the 80s remake. Another just masterpiece of a movie. Holy cow. So this has been a great month just for rewatching favorites, but also exploring new things that I haven't seen and have absolutely loved. So I've been in heaven this 31 days of horror. Yeah, it's been a great month. And then last night we had a party where we watched Trick or Treat, and then You're Next. So that was a great double feature.
Dude, You're Next is incredible.
That movie I feel is very slept on, and it's got my favorite final girl of all time, and it sucks because she's got like 15 credits, it's like I would love to see her do more things, but I guess, I don't know, she just doesn't.
That movie hit me just at the, real quick, I did take a look, and I feel like the earliest thing I don't know how big of a role he had in it, but the earliest thing I saw Jeff Goldblum was probably Annie Hall.
When was that from?
1977.
Okay, so that was a year before, and it's Body Snatchers. Wow. Okay, yeah.
Your Next came out in just the right time, where I just say all these interesting horror films were coming out, and was kind of changing the landscape, because it was also around that time that I feel like the first around that time period the first Conjuring came out, and the first Insidious came out, and I feel like the indies the indie filmmakers were finally starting to get just a little bit of money, and were starting to make some cool shit.
Yeah, because that was Adam Wingard who directed You're Next, and Ty West was also a little character in there. And then you had A.J. Bowen, who's another guy that works. So I love that little indie group. Ty West, David Bruckner, A.J. Bowen. I love all those guys. They're all they're so talented, and they do VHS a couple segments here and there as well. Which, by the way, if you're a fan of those movies, another one just dropped, VHS 99, 2 days ago.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, I gotta check that one out.
And to answer Amanda's question, because she asked how I saw Annie Hall before Jurassic Park, it wasn't before Jurassic Park. We're talking about the earliest movie we've seen him in, not the first movie we've seen him in.
Earliest role.
So, what is the youngest that we've seen Jeff Goldblum in?
I actually was answering in the way Amanda interpreted it, because I did see Invasion of the Body Snatchers before Jurassic Park, but that's because I'm old as fuck.
That's fair.
I think I might have had that Invasion of the Body Snatchers on video disc.
Nice. Video disc.
Okay, all right.
It was. I like it. So one of my first jobs was working donations at Goodwill. So whenever anything cool would come through, I'd put it on the floor, and then on my lunch break, I'd go buy it.
Nice, yeah.
And so that's how I got the video disc player, and I had, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay.
I think some Masters of the Universe episodes.
Nice.
Amanda thinks us saying that's fair to Nick's age.
That's fair. In quotations, I like that.
So Austin, you've been watching a lot of Scream Factory stuff, doing your 31 Days of Halloween. I have never successfully done a 31 Days of Halloween. I usually watch a movie every night. It's just hard to commit to a theme for me, so I've never successfully done it. And I thought in the past, what if because there's a lot of competitions out there to kind of help you choose what to watch. I don't like the pressure of feeling like I have to do something.
Yeah,
because the second I have to do
what
something,
to do.
That's totally fair. I'm 3 days behind because we were busy. We had a concert Friday, then a party yesterday, and
so now we got to catch up.
Yeah, now I got to catch up. So.
And he's doing this show where he could be watching a fucking movie.
No, I'd rather be talking movies. I got plenty of time to watch movies.
Though, funny enough, I have watched a couple horror films. I'll just run through them pretty quickly.
Yes.
I just recently watched from 1937 The Night Key with Boris Karloff, and that one was fun because he's this aging inventor who's starting to lose his eyesight, who makes these really interesting security systems. And one of his old partners in business who fucked him over, it was hey, I've changed, come sell your idea to me. And it turns out he hasn't changed at all. So then what Boris Karloff does, he kind of becomes a criminal mastermind and starts using his inventions to break open these other security systems.
Whoa.
And start stealing. It's very much like a fucking Spider-Man villain origin story.
Whoa.
Because anytime he does something, he always writes on the wall, "What I've created, I can destroy." And he signs it the Night Key. I'm oh fuck, that's a Spider-Man origin story for a villain.
That's pretty deep for 1930
something.
That's a very intricate plot. Honestly, that sounds awesome. I'm gonna put that on the list.
I'll get you next time, Night Key.
Pretty much. And then me and my buddy Ryan, who's one of my filmmaking partners, we watched this very obscure shot-on-video movie called In the Dark. It is so obscure, it has never been released. It was never on VHS. It was never on DVD. The only way you can see it is a very poorly uploaded version to YouTube.
it's just like my movie.
Well, that had a DVD release. I have a copy of it. It's on my shelf. It's signed.
But only because I made it in my office.
Well, still it counts. But what's interesting about this film is like a lot of times these shot on video movies are just like low rent horror films, and this one just kind of feels like a truly like. So this was 2000, so it still has that like 90s independent feel to it of this librarian who she finds a note at the library she works at. Pretty much it's sending her on like a wild goose chase. It's like, oh, find this book, and she finds the book, and inside is an envelope for $50 with then another note that tells her to go meet somewhere else. And if she goes there, there'll be double the amount of money. And every time she goes and does something, there's then double the amount of money. But as it goes on, the things start progressively getting stranger and stranger and more intense as they went on. And like, you know, this movie was shot on like, I imagine mini DV. It looks, watching it on YouTube, it looks like there's just like a filter over it to like clean it up, but then everyone looks kind of waxy and weird. But the entire time I'm sitting there fucking and like invested in this fucking movie.
What's it called again? I missed the name.
It's called In the Dark. It's from the year 2000 by Clifton Holmes. Okay. It's based on a book from I think his name is Richard Lehman. Richard Lehman, the writer who wrote the book, this is based on, loved the movie. The director hates it, which is probably part of the reason it never got a release. But you can find it in its entirety for release right now on YouTube. And then, like, I've just to try to get myself into the spirit of spooky season, like I've watched a Vincent Price film. We watched Poltergeist last night. I also watched Cul-de-sac, the Roman Polanski film, yesterday. And then, you know, They Live.
Nice.
Oh, and then we started that new Mike Flanagan show on Netflix.
Midnight Club.
Midnight Club. We're only 2 episodes in.
But that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's a little different than
I'm intrigued.
Right?
I'm intrigued.
I like the setup.
I like the Are You Afraid of the Dark
style
setup, but where the creepiness is still happening to the storytellers. It's smart.
Like I'm just waiting for someone to have like a handful of like glitter dust or whatever. I'm like, So I've been into that. We've been into it, and but like honestly, like I like that Mike Flanagan kind of keeps reinventing himself a little bit and just changing things up. And I also love in that. Have you seen any of it yet, Austin?
Midnight Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched. I think we're on episode like 4 or 5.
I loved it in the first episode when they're first telling the stories, and they have that one girl who's telling just like the story that's nothing but jump scares, and they're like, "Stop being so cheap," and that was great because a lot of people who are like who don't like Mike Flanagan online joke that he's nothing but jump scares, and I feel like that was him kind of making fun of himself, commenting 100%. On his reputation.
100%.
And I was
they actually set a record for like the amount of jump scares in a single episode. It was like 37. I was like, and I was like, that doesn't sound like Mike Flanagan. Why would he do that? And then I watched it and I was like, oh, he's making fun. I got it.
Yeah, he's making fun of the people who make fun of him who don't get what he's doing.
Because he's not.
My favorite one is like, you can't. Did you just black cat us? You can't. That has to be at the beginning of a scene, not the end.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a little different, but like I'm enjoying it because it's just like all his other hauntings. Like Haunting of Hill House was super spooky. Haunting of Bly Manor was like a beautiful love story, and
Moody,
this is just like another different.
And the Midnight Society is not Midnight Society. The Midnight Mass is probably my favorite one. That he's done. I also love that he's doing like repetitious titles. He's got House of, and then Midnight.
Oh yeah, he does. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, he's killing it with the Netflix partnership that they have, and they need to keep doing that because he's like one of my favorite like modern directors. He's just so good.
Same.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, your turn. What have you been watching? And then we'll get on to the topic itself.
Outside of stuff I'm watching for the podcast, I've been doing a lot of rewatches lately. Most notably SLC Punk, which is one of my favorites, and my wife had never seen it, so it was important to me that she understands when I'm referencing the movie. So I got her caught up on that. But the new watch that I did recently two of them that I really loved was Lars and the Real Girl and 1922. For my Halloween submission. 1922 was based on a Stephen King novella, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if I've seen that one.
Letterboxd said you had.
Okay. Oh, I remember this one. Yes.
It's set in it's set a little while in the past, right?
In
I had
1922.
Duh.
I had seen that one in
I'm
the
going to
tall
see myself out.
I had seen that one in the tall grass right around the same time, and I think I was getting them a little like mixed up.
Yeah. What I really loved about 1922 is how much they involved the audience in the process of him killing his wife. So we didn't just like...
Don't you just love that?
Typically, they'll be like, all right, we're going to plan to kill this person, and then they cut to like just before, and then they'll stab the knife in once, and then they cut away to the aftermath. Whereas this one, they were like, they showed all of the planning and the full execution. Where any other film would cut away, they kept staying with it, so that you had to be like implicit as a viewer. And then you had to stay with them as they fully disposed of the body, and it wasn't just a shot of them throwing it into a well or something. Like you stayed with them through that entire time, and there was this great sequence where he's looking down at the body. And again, like normally that would be like they show it and the music swells and then they cut away, but like he kept like looking back and then looking down and then looking down again, and they kept making the audience stay with him in that moment. So then everything that happened after that, you were like, holy like it's a film about living with guilt. And it made the back half of the film so much more effective because of how they presented the actual act of executing this plan.
So is like executing a plan like in like the first act?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
So the film is really about how everything the reason why he's killing his wife is because she wants to leave and take half of his land that he feels entitled to, and but he convinces the son to stay with and help him with this murder so that they could have the land and have the life and have the father-son relationship and everything that he wants. And all of that falls apart in the back half of the film. And it's so beautifully done.
I remember, now that you're telling me or telling me about it, it's like, fuck, I do remember this movie. And I remember thinking this movie was really fucking good. So
yeah. I think you had a 4-star rating.
That sounds about right.
And
I sometimes have a pretty liberal rating system when it comes to Stephen King's adaptations, because weirdly enough, like I've read a couple of his books and his stories. I think I like the adaptations of his stories sometimes better than the stories themselves, because I feel like sometimes when you have to cut it down to a specific time length, you can kind of cut through some of the bullshit and just get to the heart of it.
Especially with King, he does tend to over-explain some things sometimes.
Well, that's
a little
the cocaine.
Yeah, it's all those books he was writing when he was jacked up on drugs. So
isn't one? I want to say Cujo or one of them. He doesn't even remember writing.
I feel like that's Shining, but maybe. I know it was definitely one of those where he's like, I don't remember this.
He has no recollection of writing it whatsoever.
I imagine he's like sitting there and a royalty check came in and he's like, what the fuck is this?
I got this huge novel. I don't even know how I did this.
And then
blacked out.
A fun
Wait a
little
minute, Stephen King. That's me.
A fun little connective tissue. So I talked about watching some Vincent Price films. Specifically, I watched Pit and the Pendulum, which was part of his Edgar Allan Poe cycle he did with Roger Corman.
Yeah.
And one of our listeners had mentioned that Mike Flanagan is doing Edgar Allan Poe stuff for Netflix next.
Oh, that's right.
And I think he's actually doing Fall of the House of Usher.
Yes. Is that not Poe? Is Fall of the House of Usher not Poe?
I thought it was.
That's Poe.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's another thing he's doing.
I wanted to mention that mainly just because we got onto the topic. Before we get to the topic, that I actually a couple years ago from Arrow Video saw a really interesting like indie film. It's a loose adaptation of the Fall of the House of Usher called The Bloodhound.
Oh,
that I highly recommend. It kind of boils down the essence of like what that story is about, and takes all these gothic influences, but makes it about two like yuppie teens set now. It's really interesting.
Nice. Okay,
it's a weird movie. I will fully just say it's a weird fucking movie, but. It's one of those things like I watched it, I'm like, what the fuck was that? But then I've not stopped thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then like I was even going through like my DVDs, paring things down. I'm like, oh, I'm never going to watch this again. And then I got to The Bloodhound. I'm like, put that back on the show. Because I'm still thinking about that fucking movie.
Bloodhound. Is it from 2017?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find it somehow.
Yeah, so that one I recommend.
Very nice.
Like I said, it's weird, and you might consider taking it off the shelf, but then I think you'll end up putting it back.
That's fair. I like those movies.
All right, was there anything else you guys want to talk about before we got on to the topic at hand?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, yeah.
All right, let me introduce the show. Gonna take a sip of water for the working man.
Warning! This movie podcast actually discusses movies. Be aware that it may discuss any of the following elements: endings, surprise twists, unexpected cameos, and all manner of spoilers. Without further ado, please enjoy our feature presentation, The Shameless Picture Show.
I'm just playing They Live in the background. It's right over here.
You're just watching the movie in the background.
Yeah, I just got to play. I watched it last night, but I'm like, I'll just keep it playing in the background.
You can just reference things as they come up.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys remember this part?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Shameless Picture Show. I am Michael Viers, and with me, as always, is a man who looks like his head fell in the cheese dip back in 1957.
Nick Richards. Touché, sir.
And then I chose that one because I needed one for Austin as well. So I
Oh.
But also on our show is a good friend of mine, a frequent collaborator on this show, and he's a guy who I'd gladly have a 6-minute fight scene with. He's also the host of the Frightmares podcast.
Austin Proctor, hello. Good to be here again, as always.
Yeah, because I came up with the fight scene one first, and I was like, why do you have to have a second one? And I decided to just flip them around.
I love it.
So, as you all probably know by now, our little podcast, That Good, is officially part of a bigger entity. The Cinepunx network is where we hang our hat at night after a long day on the dusty trail that is watching movies. One tradition they have here at Cinepunx is Cineween, which is their big Halloween spectacular. It's our chance, as Cinepunx ourselves, to celebrate spooky season. While our movie today may not be spooky per se, it does have a chilling look into the world, and it's made by a bona fide horror legend. Today, we're discussing John Carpenter's They Live. Roddy Piper is a man wandering aimlessly. He's got no home, no money, and no name. He's essentially the hero of a Western, and he's just moseyed into town. While seeking employment at a construction company, our hero meets Frank. Frank is a good guy who moved out to California to make money to send home to his wife and kids out in Detroit after the plant closed. These two find kinship in that they're both trying to create a better life for themselves. Their biggest difference? Frank isn't nearly as idealistic as our hero, who still believes in America. However, Frank is right. Roddy Piper, credited in the film as Nada, stumbles upon an underground resistance group of freedom fighters who are set out to uncover them, a mysterious group that are in control of the world. Using a pair of specially modified sunglasses, Nada is now able to see the world for what it really is, a capitalistic wasteland where we're expected to spend money, reproduce, and keep our eyes closed to the evil underbelly of America. We're not sleeping anymore. Our eyes are open, and the rose-tinted glasses have been replaced by darkened shades that reveal everything. Carpenter has always been a political filmmaker, and much like his horror contemporaries, prided himself in the subtext underneath his work. Carpenter viewed horror writer H.P. Lovecraft as an influence because Lovecraft liked to write about the what was underneath the world, and these themes are definitely apparent in They Live. It's a Lovecraftian tale about Reaganomics. Carpenter has always been a master of making his inexpensive movies feel huge. They Live was made for a measly $3 million, but made $13 million at the box office. And while the film fared pretty well, critics back in 1988, its popularity has grown to the point where it's got an 85% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a 79% audience score. It's also a film that has aged incredibly well, where it feels more relevant today than ever. In a world where being woke is used as a derogatory term, Carpenter was trying to open people's eyes back in 1988. They Live was based on the Ray Nelson short story 8 O'Clock in the Morning, and the screenplay was written by John Carpenter under the pseudonym Frank Armitage, which I actually think is Keith David's character in the movie. Carpenter, being a jack of all trades and autistic filmmaker composed the score along with his frequent collaborator, Alan Howarth, and the film was lensed by Gary B. Kibbe. They Live stars WWE Hall of Famer Roddy Piper, Keith David, Meg Foster, and George Buckflower as the Drifter. Directed by John Carpenter from 1988, this is They Live, They Laugh, They Love.
They reproduce.
Let's get the trailer going.
Our masters!
What do these things want, and why are they here?
You still don't get it, do you, boy?
They have recruited the rich and the powerful.
They're running the whole show.
Wake up! They're all about you, all around you. Blinded us to the truth.
Take a look.
They are safe as long as they are not discovered.
I don't know what they are or where they came from, but we gotta stop them.
Stay away from me.
Put these on. They have us. Look at them, they're everywhere. Our owners.
We have no other choice.
I don't like this one bit. Leave it alone, man. It ain't none of my business. Ain't none of yours.
We have been lulled into a trance.
Listen to what I'm saying to you. We're in trouble. The whole world's in trouble. Control us! You're sending some kind of signals out of TV sets.
I've got one that can see.
Mama don't like tattletale.
Now we start spilling some blood. Let's go!
Push a button.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick it. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
What a trailer!
What a weird trailer. Because like it does a good job of like giving you what the film's about, but at the same time, it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't give you much.
And I'm not even talking about like it kind of like gives you like the the conspiracy theory side of it, but like the trailer definitely makes it look like a Terminator ripoff, which is not a bad thing necessarily, but it does not like. I don't know. As I watch They Live, and we could talk about this more in depth, I really viewed this movie as a comedy.
Oh, yeah?
And while that trailer made it look more straight action film.
Yeah.
I actually had a very different take on like how I would describe the genre. I thought it was a 50s sci-fi film wrapped in a summer blockbuster action comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, like that trailer, I definitely get that. And that is the movie that you would cast Roddy Piper in. However, that trailer made it feel like it should have starred Chuck Norris.
Yeah. Because I mean, at the time was he? I don't know really the history on Roddy Piper that much, but was he established as like a wrestler back then? I'm not sure.
So
okay, I wasn't sure when that started.
Well, Roddy Piper had been wrestling since he was like 16 years old.
Okay.
That's how he made money for his family.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure the exact
John
story
Carpenter
on that.
met Roddy Piper around the time of WrestleMania 3.
Okay.
And funny enough, I just wanted to throw this out because I don't know how often I get to talk about wrestling on this thing. I love that I was watching one of the features on this Scream Factory disc where it was a very weird featurette because it was like the sights and sounds and choreography of They Live. It just feels like it was like little bits of pieces of interviews they couldn't fit somewhere else, so they put them all together.
Nice.
And
Miscellaneous.
yeah, they were talking with one of the stunt guys who had to put together that 6-minute fight scene. And they said John Carpenter pretty much had one ask. He's like, you can do whatever you want with this fight scene, but there's 3 specific wrestling moves I want in that fight scene. And I was like, wait, is John Carpenter a wrestling fan? Like, because like he came in with 3 specific wrestling moves he wanted to see in it, and like
I know, I like replaying the fight scene in my head. I know what 2 of those 3
yeah,
asks were.
and it's like because like I was going to turn into Amanda's like that's a wrestling move. That's why is there a gut wrench suplex? So I just found that really like that was his specifics. Like I want 3 wrestling moves, at least 3 wrestling moves in this. And
that's
like
awesome.
the effects guy, the choreographer had to say he like Roddy Piper was a little worried that his because wrestling and everything that he was gonna have a hard time like toning it down a little bit. But they said he had it because of for wrestling. He said he had an innate ability to make things look like he was really beating the shit out of people without touching them.
That was like, for obvious reasons, that was his best performance in the film.
Yeah, so they had to bring him down a little bit, and Keith David had experienced boxing, so they had to make, which is a lot more subtle. So they had to no, you got to really swing those punches, and they had to bring him up.
That's great.
So I found that funny, but so this was a first time watch for Nick and myself, and since I'm the one kind of hosting this bitch, I'm in control of who talks first.
How dare you!
So I'm going to make Nick talk first. Nick,
okay.
What did you think of They Live?
I'll let everybody else know what I told Michael before we started recording. I was pretty high when I watched this last night, so I'm going over my notes to kind of revive it all. But I did kind of love it. There was it's silly in a way that I thought that I would not enjoy it. I had no idea what to expect. The expectations I did have were very quickly nope, this isn't that movie. So it kind of allowed me to get to cleanse my palate of expectations early on. And I typically don't have as strong of a positive reaction to corny performances, and there's certainly a level of corniness to parts of this film, but it won me over.
You're being so mean to Meg Foster.
It won me over so hard so many times that I loved it. I just loved it.
So for me, it's a movie that I kind of feel like it was one of those things that I had an idea of what I thought this movie was going to be about, and it was simultaneously I was right and I was wrong at the same time. I guess I didn't. I guess for whatever reason I was not expecting this to be as much of an action film as it was, so that was fun. I just thought it was going to be a lot more heavy-handed than I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, and I don't know why I didn't expect it to be, because it's paced like a Western. Let's be real. And I should not be surprised with John Carpenter's influences. But the only thing I knew about this film going into before I ever saw it was it's it's his most political film. And I was like, do I want to watch John Carpenter doing a political thriller? And I didn't get a political thriller. I got a political fucking action film.
Right. Yeah. And at the end, I thought to myself, though I have not watched all of Carpenter's catalog, I know his stuff pretty well, and all of my expectations going into it were not based on the fact that it was made by John Carpenter. Mm-hmm. And then when I was done watching it, I went, oh, fuck, yeah, no, that was a John Carpenter film.
Yeah. He finds a way to just make things very uniquely his. And I kind of felt the same way, where I was like, some pacing issues aside and things like that, just, general qualms, I found myself kind of loving it too the more it went on. And from his really and I say this with love, his linear kind of bluesy score that he had throughout it, just kind of playing, and how it's just there's not a lot of talking in this movie. It's just a lot of it very much felt like an episode of The Incredible Hulk, where it's just Roddy Piper's just coming to town to do good, and shit just kind of goes crazy. I wasn't and I knew there was going to be some sort of science fiction element to it. I just wasn't expecting to the level or degree that we did, because I just thought they were going to be creatures, not necessarily fucking aliens. And I found a charm to Roddy Piper's performance, because objectively, it's not a very good performance, right? But it's also really not bad.
He kind of, again, he wins you over.
Yeah, because he's so charming, and he's got that weird accent, because he's his entire career he's been kind of playing a Scottish guy, but he's actually from Canada, so you can't quite place what his accent is.
I also think his hair negatively impacted my perception of his performance. I couldn't stop looking at his hair.
It's a beautiful haircut.
I was going to say, it's a luscious mane
I wish I had that kind of hair.
Right?
God damn.
It's perfect. That 80s hair, man.
That's Roddy Piper
so
chic.
Feathered.
Yeah. It's so
and yet
funny.
he was still he had hair that feathered, and no one ever questioned whether or not he was a badass. But what I also liked about him, he also has this John Wayne quality to him. Meaning, not in terms of, hello, partner, that performance and shit, which Kurt Russell does a really good impression of. He felt like John Wayne in that John Wayne on the screen was a larger-than-life persona wrapped in an everyman. Roddy Piper.
I got some Clint Eastwood vibes.
Yeah, that and Clint Eastwood had that as well.
Yeah.
But Roddy Piper walks into frame, and he's not a big hulking wrestler like a lot of his contemporaries, where he's not the Jesse Venturas or the Hulk Hogan. He looks like he has a very obtainable frame.
He just looked built,
Yeah, he looks like he's a man who's been working hard his entire life, but he's not like fucking, eat your vegetables and do your steroids, Hulk Hogan shit.
Oh yeah, brother.
He feels like he has an obtainable physique, just of a man who's been working hard his entire life. But then he's got like this larger than life persona that just makes him very enjoyable to watch. Yeah. And then while Roddy Piper had been in quite a few movies, I don't think he had done another movie on this level. But I'd say the next biggest movie he did is a movie called Hell Comes to Frogtown, which is the greatest title of all fucking time.
And more literal than you would think.
Yeah, well, it's for two reasons. One, because his name is Sam Hell. So Hell is literally coming to Frogtown. But then he's bringing hell. And he's very similar to that. Like, he's just a very likable guy.
Yeah, it's funny because you used the word charming earlier to describe him, and that's literally what I had in my head before coming on the air today. I was like, this movie just has such a charm to it, and it's just like you said, he just wins you over throughout the movie because it's not the greatest performance, but it's so charming.
Even that iconic line delivery of "I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum." He doesn't even deliver that in a way that
he's not
is really aesthetically pleasing. But he makes it work.
Right. It's like, oh shit. I also like with a lot of those line deliveries, I liked that his character doesn't bust in to deliver that line like a lot of action stars would. He walks in and then realizes that like, oh shit, I'm walking into a bank with a gun. What are these people going to think? But then you see his view of like, oh, but there is still danger. So then he chooses to lean into it.
Yeah.
Which I think goes back to like why his character is so pleasing, because he doesn't become this action star badass out of like machismo. It's out of necessity.
Yeah, he's not he's not looking to go around and just blow people away. It becomes like a fight or flight type thing, and his line delivery in that scene feels very much like, I'm a little scared, but I feel like I should say something.
Right,
and that's just really the first fucking thing to come to mind. So, Austin, what did you think about the movie?
So this is one, obviously it's a huge favorite of mine. Once I got the 4K, I think I've watched that 4K from Shout Factory a few times, but this is one that I had seen ages ago. And, when I was younger, I didn't really understand the political message. I didn't understand the subtext or whatever you want to call it.
It's not even subtext. It's just fucking text.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just didn't really get it, I guess. I just enjoyed it. But upon watching it more and more, it's like such a good political message. I love the team up of Keith David and Roddy Piper. It's such an unlikely duo that just works 100% for me. Yeah, but it's just a great movie that it's just aging better with time because, like you said, it's just so relevant today. Probably more relevant than it was when it came out, and it's just a classic that I enjoy watching over and over again. So this, like I said, this is one of my favorites. So I'm a huge fan of this movie for just so many reasons,
Yeah. To expand on what you said about that team up, I actually think that Roddy Piper's performance was improved by Keith David's performance. A lot of times when you have a superior actor teamed up with you, it makes the weaker performance seem much worse. But I think Keith David's performance was so good in a way that was like he lifted Roddy Piper up.
Yeah, complimented him.
And I think because of
100%.
it, is Roddy Piper, I think, has really good instincts.
Yeah.
And while he wasn't an actor,
he doesn't have the training necessarily, but he has the instincts that allowed him to excel when given the tool of Keith David's incredible performance.
Exactly, because just inherently through being a professional wrestler, there is a level of acting that has to be done
and taking cues and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think he just has really good instincts, and I think it also shows why. Well, don't get me wrong, some have been very poor at it. Why I think quite a few pro wrestlers have transitioned so well into acting is because they have a lot of that.
I hope Santa with muscles you're putting in the really successful performance category.
You see, kids, it pays to be nice. Anybody want to help Santa clean up?
You got Santa with muscles. You've got Mr. Nanny. You have Suburban Commando. Hulk Hogan is a tour de force of acting ability.
Oh man, such a good movie. Also, this is the second team up with Keith David and John Carpenter, because Keith David was also in The Thing back from '82, which he's super young in that.
That's right.
Yeah. You don't. I always forget he's in that. And I'm like, oh, that's right. It's like baby Keith David.
It's
he's
funny.
So
young. I've seen The Thing so many times. Obviously, more times than I've seen They Live. And I know Keith David's in that movie, but it just doesn't feel or sound like Keith David.
Right.
But then in this one, it's like, oh fuck, that's Keith David.
There he is.
Immediately,
there it is. It's fully realized.
It's amazing what 6 years difference will do.
That's
to be
6
like,
years difference? Holy
82 was The
shit.
Thing, and this is 88, so it's only 6 years, yeah.
Oh, that goes right back to our conversation about Jeff Goldblum.
Right, yeah.
And like seeing him in
Body Snatchers.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers versus Jurassic Park.
Yeah, or even The Fly. He's so much more... in The Fly, he's Jeff Goldblum in The Fly. Yeah, he is just
I'd like
there.
to think that his performance in all of that, what became Jeff Goldblum, was just him preparing for his role to play a human-fly hybrid. And he's like, you know what, that kind of works for me. I'm going to go ahead and write out that personality for the rest of my life.
Right. And it works, he kills it every time.
Totally.
You know what's crazy? I decided to look up John Carpenter's filmography, because I was like, it kind of blew my mind that The Thing and They Live were 6 years apart. I don't know what blows my mind more, that fact or the fact that he made 4 films in between there.
Oh, yeah, he's got Prince of Darkness, Christine, The Thing, They Live, Big Trouble Little China, Dark Star. I think it was all 80s, right?
Well, Dark Star was his first film, but he did Starman in there as well.
Starman, Starman, yeah.
Let's just run this through. Let's
dominated.
From his first feature film, Dark Star. I'm just going to run through them in orders, because this just blows my... I know this man's career super well, but it's just this many films in a row. So you have Dark Star. His first film is a student film in a lot of ways that he wrote with Dan O'Banion of Return of the Living Dead and Alien fame. Ooh. They went to school together. So then you went to Assault on Precinct 13.
So good.
And then did Halloween. And the only reason Donald Pleasant says he did Halloween is because his daughter saw Assault on Precinct 13 and liked the music. So he did Halloween. Someone's Watching Me, a TV movie I've not seen yet. He did the Elvis TV movie with Kurt Russell. The Fog. Escape from New York, The Thing, Christine, Starman, Big Trouble in Little China, Prince of Darkness, and then They Live. And he still has stuff after that.
13 movies in 13 years, I think, I want to say, just about. That's crazy.
That run of films is just insane to me.
And not even just the amount, but every single one of those is a hit. They're all solid movies. Every single one. Crazy.
Obviously, having both been done by Carpenter, there are a lot of similarities, but I see this being, of all those films that you listed, They Live feels most closest to Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
It kind of has that something about the way that the city is closing in on him.
It's also crazy that you mentioned that, too, because, I could really see Kurt Russell playing that part.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah,
well,
honestly.
The hair alone.
Yeah. I kind of wish it would have been They Live just would have been a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China.
Right.
It's the same guy just wandering around.
Well, and it's funny that you compare...
The checks in the mail.
The checks in the mail. You compare it to Big Trouble in Little China for the story, but it's really interesting because have you guys seen John Carpenter's Vampires from like 96?
Yep. I have not.
Yep. The score in that movie is very similar to this movie. It's very kind of westerny and very it's very similar.
I like Vampires, and I think I would have liked it more with a different lead actor.
Yeah, I kind of was on the fence with that one, but the score. I mean, there's nothing like a John Carpenter.
Yeah, I'm just not a huge James Woods guy.
Yeah, I know, right? He's kind of. He
seems like a weird guy to be hunting vampires.
He was in Videodrome, right? Wasn't James Woods?
Yes. He was,
I did like him in that.
Videodrome
was great, but yeah, some things I'm like, I don't know. It's he's kind of hit or miss for me.
Nick, what
As I was thinking about Roddy Piper's performance in They Live, I was playing that same philosophical conversation or hypothetical in my head of would I enjoy this film more with a different actor in his place? And I think hands down it would have been a better film, but in no one that I put there would I have liked it more. Nice. I think I like the film better with Roddy Piper, though it makes it a less quality film.
Can I ask you a hypothetical, Nick?
Yeah.
Would you have liked the movie more or less if Tim Allen would have played the lead part?
I would have liked it less. And I don't think it would have made it a better film.
Austin, that was a holdover from our last episode where me and Nick we were talking about Galaxy Quest, and I found out Nick has a deep-seated dislike for Tim Allen.
A complicated,
yeah. However, he does admit that he can't imagine anyone else playing that part in Galaxy Quest. Tim Allen was appropriately cast. Nick just doesn't like him.
It's similar complication as to the feelings that I would have with William Shatner. It was kind of a perfect pairing there. And actually, while we're on the topic of Galaxy Quest, I wanted to say I also thought about you, Michael, because while watching They Live, because in that last episode you asked me if I thought Galaxy Quest was parody or satire. And I said part parody, but not at all satire. So when they were showing the commercials in They Live, that is satire.
Yeah.
Because they are exaggerating something in order to critique it or criticize it. So They Live has some satire, but it's strongest in those commercials that they're showing.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys.
Criticize capitalism.
Let me ask you guys a question then. Going off of that topic a little bit of the satire of They Live, because it all feels very intentional.
Yep.
It's very similar to like an episode we will eventually do when we eventually talk about RoboCop. That film drips of fucking satire.
Yep.
Man, let me know when you do that because I've never seen it and I've always let me know when you do that one. Never seen it.
Awesome.
That'll probably be our next one, so we can get Austin on again.
Yep.
Yes.
The Proctor double feature.
Yeah, Dr. Proctor.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see it. I have the Arrow. I just haven't had time to sit
It was
down.
on my shame list. So I have now seen it, but only in preparation for the
Let me ask you this, because I feel like there's a version of this movie that someone could have made without the satirical elements to it, and maybe just kind of stumbled upon this plot of putting on glasses to see the world for what it is. And because really that element of this film, you put on these magic glasses and they show you what the world really is, really comes down to the viewpoint of the filmmaker. Because let's be real, if someone like Clint Eastwood was making this film, especially Clint Eastwood now, those images would be very fucking different.
Yeah.
It'd be like all the hippies and the liberals will be the monsters and shit. Do you think this film would have stood the test of time or been considered? Because for a lot of people, this is peak Carpenter for a lot of people. Especially, I don't like to call this part of his career late era Carpenter, but if you think about like all the stuff he's done after this, it kind of feels like late era Carpenter.
Yeah.
Do you think this film would have been it would be remembered as fondly without those elements? Because like in a lot of ways, while I like some of the films he's made after this is in some ways might have been considered like one of the last true big hits he's made.
What about Ghosts of Mars? You didn't like Ghosts of Mars?
I love Ghost of Mars, but it is No They Live.
I was going to say, for different reasons, we like that one.
So, to answer your question, the older I get, the less comfortable I feel making, like, how would the world or our society, our nation feel about something? Because I used to think, the way that I think about things is mostly how everybody else does, and I'm
Well, then let me reframe the question.
I would not like it nearly as much without the heavy-handed, more political-leaning messages of what Roddy Piper's character sees when he puts on the glasses. That was a big, big part of what made me less concerned about the cheesy aspects of it. Then it kind of all... That was the magic ingredient to making the whole thing work for me.
I think it's almost like some of Wes Craven's films. Wes Craven is a filmmaker I absolutely love and respect, but sometimes his concepts are way too big and heady, where I feel like he struggles to get them on screen.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was a chance that could have happened with this film, but I feel like by choosing someone like Roddy Piper as the lead actor, and just some of the choices he made, he found a way to keep it grounded in a certain... where it doesn't get too fucking big that you can't film it anymore.
There's also, like, think about how little we actually see the villains, the antagonists of this film. It feels like they're so unattainable that, like, you see them when you put on the glasses, but for the most part, they're usually just standing there reading a newspaper or buying a coffee. Like, we don't see the villain enacting their plan, really, which is interesting. It felt so big and unattainable and on another level that it made those in the know feel so small and insignificant. And what can we really do to stop this by not even showing the machinations of the antagonist?
Yeah.
One thing I kept thinking of throughout this, and as well, I feel like I lean on the side of John Carpenter's worldview in this. I will say I couldn't help but think it's like, okay, theoretically, to everyone else, not the villains of this film, but just for the normal people in this, Roddy Piper's character probably just looks like a serial shooter.
Like I thought.
Here's a guy who's just like, I have to rid the world of this evil element, and he's just fucking going into places.
If you don't see it, like, he is the villain.
It's if you cut out all of those like sunglass shots, this movie is fucking frightening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you think about it, that would be a completely different movie.
Right? I kind of want to make a supercut and just see how ugly this movie is without any of that.
Bad.
Just here comes the guy into town, wants to get a job, can't seem to hold down work, and just ends up shooting rich people.
Yeah, because all you see is the setup because, you see people going into the church, and he starts to go into the church and see the tape recorders. But then if you don't see him put on or even find the glasses, totally different movie. Yeah. He just sees something that only he can see that the audience can't, and he doesn't like it. And he wants to cleanse the city of this
frightening
evil.
Perspective of this film.
You could even show a lot. You could show the glasses. You could show him putting on and off the glasses. You could see his reaction. You could even see the signs. If all you do is take out any shot with the creature in there.
Okay. That's
it
even
would not
better.
even take much.
So that would be such an interesting cut. Oh man, that would change the tone in the complete opposite way.
It really fucking would.
I wrote that they walked a really fine line between those in the know sounding crazy and paranoid without them becoming unsympathetic. Because when you first see that the TV show interference, and you see the guy close up to the camera saying, they're on to us, they're on. The street preacher, like, they all are, quote unquote, crazy, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as the audience is in the know of what's happening, you're like, yep, I believe in the conspiracy, right? Like, you're in QAnon all of a sudden, and then what's crazy and what isn't. And at a time when conspiracy theories and false information is so prevalent, like, that's, I wouldn't say that this is the conspiracy is real. Like, that's not the the takeaway we should take from this film. But it is a really interesting time for me to watch this film for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, and speaking to your, your conspiracy theories, I think one of the reasons I am into this movie so much is I'm a sucker for like a good conspiracy theory.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're just fun to read and think about. So that weighs in heavily to I think why I like this so much, and just the political message, which I typically don't like political movies, but I think this is done in such a way where it's not so overbearing. And they're not trying to shove it in your face, but you just know it's there.
It helps that it's coming from, like, aliens.
Exactly.
Because then it's not...
Exactly.
Yeah. The political side seems to take a back seat in some ways.
It's more like our politicians are just the tool that the aliens are using to accomplish what they want.
And it's just told perfectly. Yeah, it's told perfectly. Yeah, I think it's done so well.
So can I play a clip for you guys?
I
got a clip from John Carpenter kind of talking about his it's actually a supercut of a couple clips, so I might just play like a minute or two of it.
Sure.
Mainly because I just want to reference something else. So I just want to play like John Carpenter talking about where his ideas came from. So I'm gonna mute the mics and then play the clip.
How dare you?
They Live was a movie I made towards the end of the 80s, and I was reflecting on a lot of the values that I saw around me at the time, mainly inspired by Ronald Reagan's conservative revolution. There was a great deal of obsession with greed and making a lot of money, and some of the values that I grew up with had been pushed aside. So I decided to scream out in the middle of the night and make a statement about that. And They Live is partially a political statement. It's partially a tract on the world that we live in today. And as a matter of fact, right now, it's even more true than it was then. We are manipulated by a lot of media around us. We are consumed by consumerism. And as you can see, the recent events in this country, they are still among us. They do live, indeed. The 80s never ended. The Reagan Revolution never ended. Although there is now a pull towards the left. I admit that. The right is, in this country, the right is confused and lost. But they may win. They may win, and what they want to do is beyond Reagan. They've moved so far to the right. And it's really unrestrained capitalism that I'm criticizing. I'm a capitalist. I love capitalism. I love making money. But unrestrained capitalism leads to depressions. It leads to the recession that we had. So, the 80s never ended. They're still here. They're still on Earth exploiting us.
We just need the glasses.
No, we do. We do. More than ever.
So the reason I wanted to play that, because I just find it interesting that, like, in the first clip, he's like, there's all this greed and all this everything, which is all 100% true. And I wanted to play the second clip only just because I wanted to include the fact that he's like,
I love capitalism.
Just because, like, anytime you hear, like...
I love money.
Anytime people ask him, like, what do you think about all the new Halloween movies that are being made? There's always a clip somewhere of John Carpenter being like, a magical thing. Anytime they decide they want to make a new Halloween movie, I could pause my video game, put out my hand, and they put a check right in my hand. And I was like... So, like, the first clip is like, he's going on about, like, all the greed, and it's like... I'm not saying this in a mean way. You fucking love money, John Carpenter. So I had to play the second clip to go along with that.
Yeah. No,
but like, it's interesting. Here's a guy who is, a self-confessed capitalist, and there's also a great story of him talking about his like screenwriting is the best gig on the planet. He's like he's like. They give you an advance to write a script, and then I can fuck around for a couple months, play video games, do whatever the hell I want, and then 2 weeks before it's due, I'll bang out a screenplay. I'll call my dealer and I'll bang out a screenplay, and then I turn it in. Sometimes they'll say yes, no, give me notes, and if they like it and want me to do a rewrite, then they put another check in my hand, and I repeat the process. So it's like it's interesting. Here's a guy who's very open about the fact that his love for money, where even he's like, this is fucked up what's going on. So, like, here's a guy who, like, clearly loves his money. He loves not having to work very hard for it. Like, that's the fucking dream. Like, anyone who can agree, we want to make money for doing as little work as possible. Right. And even he's like, this is fucked up how far this is going.
One what I was kind of feeling during the second part, because I noted the same thing that you pointed out, but if you look at like socialism, right? If we 180 degrees it in the other direction, like I kind of like the idea of socialism. I'm a big Bernie Sanders guy. And whenever socialism is criticized, it's the super extreme version of it, right? The one run by a dictator or an autocrat, and people are eating rats and standing in line. But like socialism that's not gray area socialism. And he's saying gray area capitalism is fine. It's the extreme capitalism that we're rocketing towards every minute that he has the issue with. It's more of a criticism of extremes than it is like of all of capitalism, which also allows for a more, I think, appropriate and response. Like you don't need as pointed of a stick to say, let's dial it back a few degrees than you would if you're saying this whole system is flawed to begin with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense totally.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't really know what I was trying to get from those. I just thought whenever you can get a film like this that very clearly has someone passionately commenting on something, I always like when you can hear it from their own mouth, just because it's most times you hear it and like, okay, yeah, you're saying everything that I expected to hear you say, but sometimes it's not. Right. So it's like I feel like you needed that second clip just because like everything I've ever known about Carpenter is that he fucking loves money. And there's nothing wrong necessarily with that. But, if you were just to view this movie and just think of that first clip where he's like, oh, this unchecked greed, without him admitting the fact that he likes money himself, he would very much seem like a hypocrite. So I feel like you kind of needed both sides of that coin. Because here's the thing about John Carpenter. He's never been one to pull punches. He'll fucking say what he's thinking. One of my favorite stories about him all comes down to he was producing the remake to The Fog that they made back in the early 2000s. And someone asked him, it's like, because he's like, oh, we wanted to do this because it was a chance to do all these things we couldn't do in the first one, yada, 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 all that shit. And someone said to him, was like, so why aren't you directing this? And he goes, because I don't want to. Simple as that.
I already did that. What do I need to do it again for? He is just an absolute legend on screen and off screen. That man is just a treasure.
He's just living his best rock star life.
For real.
I love that lately they've been selling off of his physical media collection. They're like, we're going through John's collection of VHS tapes.
Oh man!
Ooh. And like you could buy a box of them from
shit.
him. I'm never fast enough where I could ever get one, but it's like I want to get a random collection of shit from John Carpenter. I don't even care what's in the box.
It was his at one point.
I don't care. What was John Carpenter watching? Why does John Carpenter have 5 copies of Wayne's World?
Because I'm John motherfucking Carpenter. That's why.
Because I want 5 copies. Leave me alone.
Oh man.
So, Nick, you said you had a page of stoned notes. Give me some of these.
I do. Okay, let's talk about the homeless camp a bit.
That seemed like a nice little setup they had there until the police came and ruined it.
Here's the think about every depiction of a homeless camp you've seen on TV or in film.
Pottersville.
Has it ever been so pastoral? Like, it was clean. Motherfuckers had clean-ass white socks on, and they were, they all had decent-looking clothes.
And there was a specific moment, too, like when they're in the chow line, and Roddy's up there, and he's smiling. He's got a good fucking meal, and they're like, you want peas? And he goes, yeah. And she's like, you want more? He goes, yeah. It's like, they have enough where they can give extra.
It's communal living, socialist. It's like everybody pitches together to make... Like, that was another part of the, this homeless camp was presented in a way that made them the heroes and the sympathetic characters, when 99% of the time, that's like, you're going into the dangerous, like, more chaotic part of the world, right? The dirty underbelly. But here, it was like, this is heaven. this homeless camp where everybody works together to support one another.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see that particular element.
And then,
of
like,
this narrative.
even little things, like when they said of Piper, it's like, oh, what's in the bag? Tools? And it's like, yeah. It's like, if you know how to use them, you could be of great help. The shower's caving in. It's like, you all have a fucking shower? An indoor shower that happens to be caving in? Like, fuck, this seems nice.
It's like a good place to be.
It was a really important contrast to capitalism. When capitalism is your villain in the film, like, it was important to set up this camp the way that they did.
Yeah, I feel like it was the society there and the culture there was almost more normal than everything going on in the city, and it was like a juxtaposition of like, look how together these people are, as opposed to the city where everyone just seems to be at odds and ends with each other. I just like how they did that.
It's crazy.
To further.
Go
ahead.
No, I was just going to say, the more I'm just thinking about this movie and then our next one, RoboCop, like, there's just so many, like,
parallels.
So anyways, continue, Nick.
Even something that I noticed, and at first I kind of thought of it as the John Carpenter doing a lot with a little thing. Making a much bigger film than he probably had the budget for, and that's why some of it feels a little off or cheesy. But I could draw a stronger point from it now that we're having this part of the conversation. So when he falls... Well, when he's looking for that box of sunglasses and goes into the garbage truck to find them, like, that is the cleanest fucking inside of a garbage truck. It's all cardboard and like
I just kept thinking,
pieces of
Amanda
paper.
kept mentioning, is like, why would you hide the glasses in a garbage truck, in a garbage can?
They're gonna come for it.
I know. And she's like, that's what garbage men do. They pick up garbage.
Men gonna garbage.
That scene is funny to me too, when he's like in the and like it starts coming up and he goes, whoa, and they make it out to be like a big thing, but he just kind of has a gentle tumble.
He just kind of
out.
slides.
Like, oh, that didn't seem so bad. It's like, oh, that seemed fine. You're not even dirty.
I don't remember what he said, but it was something like, oh shit.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, oh, here we go.
But, and I can't say that this was intentional, but I can pontificate that, like, you could, based on this, again, this pastoral, clean, homeless camp, like, even as somebody who has to root around in the trash is still clean. Right. You know, you can continue that metaphor out.
That was such a nice and, like, tidy, like, little encampment that, like, even after, like, the bulldozer came and got rid of it all, like, the next time we're there, it's completely cleaned out and empty. I'm like, man, there's not even, like, a hint. It's like the Grinch just came and took everything.
Put it in a big sack and just took
there's
it away.
There's not even a crumb.
Even their last can of goulash.
Oh, man.
But then, like, it also it's interesting too. Like, Keith David takes Roddy Piper's character to this place, and they just welcome him with open arms. And then, like,
they didn't ask, "What can you do from us?" right off the bat. They said, "You're welcome here."
Yeah, and then you have, like, George Buck Flowers' character, who eventually, like, is a traitor to them and joins the other group. And it's like he made reference in talking about, like, how hard he's worked to get to this point, but it's like, you were welcome with open arms to this other encampment, and you just took that for granted because it wasn't what you felt like you wanted or deserved.
Yeah,
still chasing more.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Thrill House moments, because a lot of times when you ask what my Thrill House moment was, I have to go back and think about it, but I knew the moment that I was locked into this film.
Thrill House! Mom, Bart swearing!
So shortly after we see the world through the glasses for the first time, I wasn't sold yet. I was excited. I was having a good time. But I'm still processing that. We're seeing the signs. We see the money that says, "This is your God." And I'm like, oh shit, this is like, that pushed me 3/4 of the way there. And then what finally sealed it, the official Thrill House moment, was shortly after we see that "This is your God" on the money. We see one of our first, I don't think it's the first, but one of the first creatures. And it's a middle-aged woman, fancily dressed, with a freaky kind of zombie alien face. And she's, like, being handed grocery bags and putting them in her trunk and just yapping away nonsensically about something. Watching that woman going with her crazy makeup, acting like a totally normal person. That was the Thrill House moment for me. That was the first time we saw this, like, oh yeah, and I gotta get and pick up the kids and but with the alien face.
Yeah.
Thrill House moment.
Honestly, I feel like mine's gonna be right around the same point. Like I'm not gonna lie. If I'm being completely fucking honest, the second that Roddy Piper showed up on screen with that fucking bluesy ass score and shit, I was pretty much sold right away. But like, if I had to be like real, like when I was sold in on the movie, not just the fact that I fucking love watching Roddy Piper beat the shit out of people, was probably around the same time. Was when he first started putting the glasses on and. You know, the world started to reveal itself. But I feel like him in that grocery store when he has that line, it's like, it looks like your face fell in the cheese dip back in 1957. Like, that whole little bit is like... And he's like, especially when he turns to that one woman, he's like, you're all right, but you're ugly. That whole little bit.
That was good.
And then we've got one who can see. And I'm like, oh shit, it's not... Because at first I was like, well, maybe they're just like... You know, the people who have been so consumed by greed and everything, maybe that's just how they look. It's like then when they start talking to their watch, like, oh no, conspiracy!
It's intentional, yeah.
Yeah.
So seeing Roddy Piper initially in the film, that was your thrill ho moment.
Yeah, my thrill ho moment.
Okay.
Where you were almost there.
Yeah, but then like got the rest of it. Chef's kiss.
It was delicious.
All right, Austin.
So it's actually I think it's right after Nixon. It's right after yours. It's right in that sequence as he gets the glasses, because once the lady talks into her little thing, we've got one. You can see you're like, your senses go up. You're like, oh, okay, so this is a little bit deeper than, like you said, just greed or something. But for me, it's when he has the glasses on and the cops come up. And they're also aliens. I was like, oh, so everything is off the table at this point. Like, yeah.
It goes all the way to the top!
I was like, oh, shit, it's not just regular people. It's a conspiracy. Cops are involved now. I was like, okay, this changed everything. So it was when he had the interaction with the cops. I was like, yep. Yeah. I was like, okay.
And that was a big piece to kind of that thing I briefly mentioned before, where you can feel the city closing in around his character. Like, there's nowhere to escape. It's because the police are in on it, and the politicians and the media companies.
Yeah,
like,
people on TV, that guy that was talking with the obey sign behind him. You're like, this is going it's going uphill, like real quick, or downhill real quickly. Like, yeah.
To the point where we couldn't even expect him. Like, I liked, and here comes the spoiler alerts, how it didn't end by him winning over everybody. All he did was sacrifice himself to reveal it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was the conclusion of the film. It wasn't, they didn't pack up and leave. It wasn't over. It was just the reveal. It kind of actually reminded me a lot. I could see it having been an influence of The Matrix.
Oh,
I was actually saying that through when we were watching this. I was like, man, does this make sense? That this at times feels kind of like The Matrix by way of the Terminator?
Yeah, like you realize that this life that you're living is manufactured and fake, and then you're the one that takes the blue pill or red pill, I don't remember which one, and now you're part of a small resistance army fighting something way too big to actually win against.
I can't believe there's not a world in which the Wachowskis haven't seen They Live.
Right.
But then there's that great scene in The Matrix, actually, where he's like, where Joe Pantoliano's character's talking to Agent Smith, and he's like, I know this steak's not real. He's like, I know that every bite I take is just sending shockwaves through my brain, but god damn it, am I not enjoying it. It's like, here's a guy who would much rather live never having seen through the glasses and just live this fake existence.
And it's just so...
And let's be real, I feel like a lot of us probably would have done the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why the conversation is so apt and truthful. Like, if you were presented with that situation, you can't tell me that part of you doesn't, like, go, I don't know, I'd kind of rather eat the steak and not know what's going
100%.
on. Right? Even if your integrity and your morality goes, but this is the right thing to do, like... You want that steak still.
Yeah, you still want to enjoy that. I'd rather not know.
Yeah, like it's honestly Joe Pantoliano's character is the drifter character, the George Buck Flower character, who in the end it's like, hey, this is all going to end soon anyways. Might as well have a good time before we go. And I was like, it's like it's hard to hate on the guy because I can't imagine if you saw what this world is really like that you wouldn't be like, man, I don't want this anymore.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's funny. Our Thrill House moment are like almost all like within
within a grouping
Yeah.
because that's just where the movie just escalates so quickly.
It's right. The intro into the second act is a fucking changes the film. I mean, it's what the film is about, but like usually there's a smoother arc from first act into second act. This one, like, exponentially just rocketed up. Like, oh, this is not the movie I thought it was going to be.
And then you have the crazy third act where they're shooting guns and getting chased and going into these little like wormholes in the ground, and you're just like, it's like a perfect 3-act structure. You're like, this is perfect.
And we just have to fucking talk about it eventually. That fucking 6-minute fight scene in the end.
Oh yeah, yep.
I think.
What?
Go ahead, Nick.
Again, like, first off, Roddy Piper's acting, not just his fight acting, but like his performance was better than it was in any of the rest of the film during that. It was like, okay, this is my comfort zone. I'm in my element. And again, Keith David, like, you put any other actor in either of those two roles, and this fight scene feels as weird as it should have felt.
It's one of those things
they made it work.
Because John Carpenter said he wants this to feel like an old school John Wayne fist fight. You know, that was his goal.
But with a Vader bomb or Vader, the
yeah.
I don't remember John Wayne doing that.
He would have if he could have, goddammit. But like what I found so appealing about that fight scene was like I kind of knew everyone said that it's got the longest fight scene ever, so I kind of knew what to expect. But what I found it did so well is because I sometimes just get bored of fight scenes. Like that's honestly the reason I didn't like The Raid so much. Is just because it's like this is just another
fight scene,
an hour and a long fight scene. This one felt like one had a purpose because it was Roddy Piper trying to like you have to put these fucking glasses on.
Yes.
And Keith David being like, "Fuck no, bro! Like you just killed a bunch of people." Because right now Keith David's in a fight or flight situation. He feels for him. That's why he came and gives him that money. But he's at very arm's length with him. But like when the fight scene first started happening, I was like, "Oh, that was an enjoyable fight." Every time I thought the fight scene was over, it would kind of pick up again.
Yeah.
But that was one of the fight choreographers who thought of that. It's like we can't just have these guys. Apparently, John Carpenter knew he wanted an excessively long fight scene in this movie. And one of the fight choreographers is like, we can't just have them beating the shit out of each other for 6 minutes straight. They wouldn't be able to walk away from it.
Hold my beer.
We need to have them fighting over something, and we need there to be breaks in this fight.
The states made it. I take back what I said about the actors. While it was still important, the states is what made it work.
But my favorite part about this fight scene, because I hate you have like a big fight scene in the movie, and then afterwards they'll have like a little bit of like something right here. Like they walk into that fucking hotel afterwards, and they have had the shit beat out of them.
I think that
I wondered at that point if Roddy's wasn't actually makeup, but like he actually like because as a wrestler, he's somebody who doesn't mind getting knocked around a lot. And it looked really real.
Well, some of it, so like a lot of times when these wrestlers are, especially the old school wrestlers are in movies, they have to put a lot of makeup on their forehead because, when you need to bleed in a wrestling match, what they do is they take a little fucking razor blade and just do a little line along their forehead, so that way it bleeds out. So if you look up any wrestler's mugshot, look up Ric Flair's mugshot, you'll see his head looks like fucking like ground beef.
Oh my god!
So there was time, so they use a lot of makeup to kind of hide that a little bit. You usually try to do it around your hairline, so it's a little easier to hide. But sometimes if you're in the heat of the moment, you just kind of like get wherever.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper's head kind of at times where it's like, did they just take the makeup off because it was like protrude a little bit? It was really red, and maybe it was just really good makeup. But I kept thinking, like, I wouldn't be surprised.
It looked like less makeup somehow.
Yeah, so it's like, I wonder if that's just what his head looks like.
Yeah, that fight scene has...
Like, seriously, when you guys know the show, if you look at pro wrestlers' blade foreheads, you'll see some fucking shit.
See some things. They'll stick with me forever.
You'll see some shit.
Can't unsee that.
Yeah. Like Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, two that come to mind.
Interesting. I had no idea about that.
What were you going to say, Austin?
Oh, the fight scene. So it has one of my favorite lines besides the iconic, bubblegum line. But he's like, I'm giving you a choice. You either put these glasses on or you're going to eat trash. And I was like, yes, I love that line. You're gonna eat that trash can.
There's so many goofy lines in this movie that work because they're being delivered by Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Weird enough, I think that line would have felt very written.
Yeah.
If Kurt Russell had said it. Or Kurt Russell would have found a different way to say the bubblegum and kick-ass line. But I don't know if it would have worked as well. It
works so perfectly.
Being said by a real actor.
Yeah. It works so perfectly with him. Yeah.
I also liked how much strength, both physical and of character, that Keith David's character had in that fight. Mm-hmm. It's easy to, you're not the protagonist, so you're just somebody for the hero to beat up.
Right.
But they, especially in a time where there weren't as many conversations about token minority characters, and as this second in command kind of okay, you're the Robin to my Batman kind of dynamic that they had. I was impressed with how much character the story gave to his role, to that part, and it really showed in that fight scene where he said so many times, "Fuck you, I'm not going to do what you say just because you tell me to do it. You're crazy. I have a wife and kid."
He didn't want to get involved.
He wasn't just a prop.
He's like, your shit is your shit, my shit is my shit. Let's not get involved. I don't want to do it.
And I will knock you out if I have to stop you from doing it, even though, but the amount of times that it stopped and he kind of won and then it switched the other way, but he held on and turned it like that, gave his character a lot more weight on screen.
Yeah. And then it also says a lot about his character, too, by the fact that, Piper came to the work site and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to deal with you." But then he came and found him later on and gave him some of his hard-earned money.
Yes.
I don't imagine
this is what's fair.
Right. Yeah, I don't imagine it was any of the money that... Because I'm sure that the boss of that place is like, "Fuck this guy. I'm not paying him." So I'm sure Keith David took what little money he had and gave it to Piper because he thought, "I can't in good consciousness leave this guy when I can tell... even though he seems fucking crazy, that he's dealing with something right now."
Which is a direct, it's particularly heroic given the messaging of the film being everybody fight for your own, you get yours, this is capitalism, get as much money as you can. He's like, nope, the right thing is you worked for that money, here it is. Even though I could just take this and be richer because of it, you earned it, and even though you're crazy,
it just shows he has good morals. He's a solid, actual nice person instead of
And in any other movie, that wouldn't have mattered as much, but in this film with that message, that makes
because everyone is greedy, and he's the one being a decent human being by here, let me do the right thing here,
specifically with money.
Exactly. This is your God,
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Nick. What else you got for notes? Or have we pretty much exhausted through them?
Now it's more of the random stoner thoughts.
Well, hell yeah.
Those are always the
best. I also really enjoyed comparing this film to Mars Attacks. I
can see it.
It's not all the way there because, again, the aliens are very hidden in this, where in Mars Attacks it's very forward. But that, action comedy with aliens blockbuster thing kind of worked. I really liked the line that the guy that was in the camp and then became one of the ones that would get rich,
George Buckflower,
his line, "It's just business, we all sell out every day."
Yeah. Me and Amanda were both "No, I didn't have that." I'm like, yeah, he makes a lot. He makes a lot of sense, man.
Yeah.
Imagine Stone Nick's just sitting there whoa.
Stone Nick also thought, "Wow, Carpenter isn't afraid of a body count."
No.
Just
mowing
people dropping.
Yeah. They're aliens. It's fine. But at the same time, Carpenter, he was very clear to show that Roddy Piper has he's not just going to mow you down because you're helping this system. Like that one cop, he let leave because he was a normal human. Yeah. Or like he was, unless they're directly trying to kill him, he was specifically, like even when they were like exiting, like they had that siege scene when they're all leaving their like their little base of operations, he was specifically aiming for the ghouls.
Yeah, that's actually where I'm at right now. He's running now, and he's like, people are putting their hands up that aren't, the aliens, and he's letting them go. And I also love how they get the contacts towards the end of the movie too, so they don't have to, so they can blend in more and just have, they don't have to put the glasses on. They just get the contacts. That was a really cool little, we've upgraded. Here you go. And you're like, oh, sweet, okay.
It's also clear that neither of those two actors had ever put contacts in, nor did anybody on the film try and teach them how. They're like...
Just like,
as someone who wears contacts, like, y'all are doing this wrong. But actually, my exact thing I said to Amanda is, like, it gets easier.
Right?
The more you do it, it gets easier.
I remember my first contacts. I said that one. Some surprisingly good cinematography.
Yeah.
Like, there's the shot at dawn of him walking down the bridge that I was like, oh, fuck, that's beautiful.
Yeah, like this movie had a good cinematography. He was a constant collaborator with John Carpenter. It's Gary B. Kibbe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's Kibbe, so maybe it's Kib. Also shot Prince of Darkness. He shot RoboCop 3. Double Dragon, In the Mouth of Madness, Village of the Damned, Escape from L.A., Vampires, Ghosts of Mars, and The Librarian.
Oh, wow,
okay.
And looks like he also did some stuff for Tales from the Crypt.
Okay. Did you guys notice the communication devices that the creatures used?
The watches?
No, the other things. They're it's the thing from Ghostbusters.
Yes, I did want to mention that.
Yeah,
I was like, what do I know that
Same
from?
Prop, yeah.
And I looked it up. I was like, I feel like it's from Ghostbusters. And I just randomly Googled Ghostbusters tech, and that was like one of the first things that came up. Like, yeah, that thing.
No, I knew it immediately. Like he pulled it up. I'm like, why are they looking for ghosts right now?
I thought these were aliens. What the hell?
This one I'll also share just because I think you'll all appreciate like imagining stoned me thinking this. So I will read it verbatim.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
As to what I wrote. Where did it go? Holy shit! 3 exclamation marks. She threw him through the window.
Not only threw him through the window, smacked him over the head with a bottle, and then he leaped through.
It came so I did not see that scene going that direction.
Yeah.
I was like, man, Mick Foster's the bad. Amanda just said, even though Roddy Piper's the hero, Amanda just said without thinking about it, good for her.
Yep, right. And I like how they let her reveal of the information. It didn't have to be a cutaway scene of her going, okay, I'll try and put him on. She was just in the meeting. It's like, okay, you figured it out.
Yeah.
It was just a look. That's all it needed to be. They didn't overcomplicate it.
But then it made her betrayal at the end even more. When she killed Keith David, I was like, oh.
That was a little unceremonious too. Like they never really came back to that. It was just like, yep, now he's dead.
Well, Piper never found out.
What?
Right?
What did Piper never find out?
Piper never found out that in the movie, like his character never found out that Keith David's character.
Oh, yeah,
died.
that's because
he was on the roof.
Because he was on the roof with Meg Foster, who was the traitor. And then
God damn it, Meg Foster.
I know, and you're like, what the hell? And then you realize she's working with the alien race. And, she's like, don't destroy it. Like you can't win. And then he does it anyways and just flicks her off. I was like, yes. It was just like peak 80s moment right there.
And then the only other thought that I have was I really enjoyed how they styled like the design behind the like glasses view, where it kind of felt like almost noir, but with that like 50s sci-fi anchoring. I wasn't expecting it to like go full on 50s sci-fi movie when you put those on. And again, like you never see the danger per se. You never see them attacking. You never see them, all it is, like the scary thing is the manipulation and control. Yeah. And that's all you ever see. And that's the control is what's so scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like how you don't see any of the aliens actually like in color until, all has been reveal it, and then you're just like, everyone's losing their mind. And tell me if I'm far off here, but I got similar vibes with the ending, like Halloween 3, when at the end of Halloween he's on the phone, it's like, stop, and you don't know if it got stopped. And in this one, everyone's revealed, and it's like, you don't know what's going to happen with all those people. I kind of just got similar beats from the ending of this and Halloween 3.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
Totally. And it's another conspiracy.
Exactly, yeah.
This infiltration of society story, where in They Live, it has already happened. Mm-hmm. You're already in the Matrix, where Halloween 3, you're a part of, you're watching the machine.
Yeah, the production line almost.
But yeah, totally. No, absolutely.
Okay. Cool. Just making sure
with how those stories are developed.
Nice. Yeah. Very nice.
Fuck yeah. I don't really have anything else to add, but that was a nice little cherry on top to that.
So, yes, I really enjoyed They Live. It's one of those where I actually rated it higher than I would have. Like, the intent behind it, the messaging, the themes, and the story elevated it beyond the production value. And even without that, it's still a fun movie. So, like, ordinarily a film like that would be kind of a 3-star for me, and it bumped it up to a 4-star because I loved that. Like, that's my sweet spot right there, is that kind of theme play, which this movie is sick with. So it really boosted it up.
Yeah, for me, I think I gave it a 3.5, but it's definitely, I feel like it's gonna be one of those films that the more I watch, it's just gonna kind of slowly
just eat it up a little bit more,
trickle up a little bit.
I'm on the other end of that because the last time I rated it, it was a 4. It's a 4.5 for me now. But the first couple times I'd watched it and rated it, it was about a 3.5. Then it went to a 4, and now it's a 4. And now it's a 4.5. And I'm like, it's just one of my favorites. I just adore it.
Just keeps going
up. Just keeps going up.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that too. Because here's the thing too. Because I feel like, especially in the world of rating films, especially on something like Letterboxd, people see you give a movie 3 stars. I'm like, what, did you not like it? It's like, no, it's still a good fucking movie, guys.
3 is still a solid rating.
Yeah, so but I also don't think there's anything wrong with just, your opinions change. You enjoy things more the next time.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine.
And don't we all, as artists, as creators, want to create something that sticks with people? And if you can create something that increases its value over time to people, like, those are all of my favorite films, are ones that the first time I saw it, I did not appreciate it or value it to the point that I do today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? That the more you watch it, the more you think about it, the more you interact with it, the better it gets. That is peak artistic expression, in my opinion.
100%.
Agreed.
Yeah. Especially for a movie that's from 1988, you know what I mean? It's not like it's a new, it's not like it's a new movie.
Feathered hair, machine guns.
It's not like it's brand new and you're like, oh, I like this more and more. No, this is like a 30-something-year-old movie, and it's just like, the rewatchability is just, it's so good, and you end up appreciating it more and more over time. That's a movie that has stood the test of time, for sure.
Yes.
Definitely. And I guess one thing I will say is, if those of you listening, if you like this movie, let us know what you thought.
Yeah.
Reach out to us. Everyone but Nick. You tell me what you want me to tell Nick. Well, Nick's not on social media, so you guys got to reach out to me, and then I'll tell it to Nick.
They can mail me if they can find my address. I'll John Waters it and just email the game shop nearby, and I'll pick up my mail there.
There you go.
Very nice.
All right. Was there anything else you guys want to talk about They Live before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I think I hit all of my notes.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, just do it. It's on Peacock right now, streaming. So if you have Peacock, go check it out. If you have not seen it,
you need the premium.
Yes, you do need premium.
Version.
Yes, but
I have the free version. Yeah. So
I have it because Austin sent me a copy.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I have the 4K. But if you don't happen to own it and you haven't seen it, Peacock Premium has it. Definitely just go check that out. It's you will not be disappointed. But yeah, I hit all my points as well.
All right, then I think just on our way out, I'm just gonna before we just end this show completely, I'm just going to slowly trickle in the sounds of John Carpenter playing the They Live theme music live. Keep it low in the background. And, Austin, tell everyone where they can find you.
Alrighty, Frightmares Podcast. We are on Facebook at Just Frightmares. We've got Instagram and Slasher app at Frightmares Podcast. Twitter, Frightmares_pod, and then our email is stayspooky@outlook.com. Podcast is out weekly on Fridays, and it is on pretty much every platform you can find it on, so go check us out.
If you want to find me, you can write an old-style letter to the Avalon Theater at 40 East Dover Street, Easton, Maryland, 21601.
All right.
And if you ever are in Easton, Maryland, go say hi to Nick, but then also go down to Rise Up Coffee, because they're pretty fucking legit.
I'm drinking some right now.
Oh, also, I am Dr. Proctor on Letterboxd if you want to give me a follow.
But it's like one of those O's is a 0, I think. And
no, that's my Instagram. Dr. Proctor, just regular on Letterboxd if you want to give me a follow. I follow everybody back that I can, so.
I am on Letterboxd, and I will note, Austin, I have been using it a bit more since the last time. When you looked and you're like, you haven't watched anything this year. I'm like, well, I have. I just haven't told anybody.
Amanda says she wants some Rise Up coffee.
Yeah, girl. It's so good.
And then my name is Michael Viers. I'm pretty much everywhere you can find me. I do a lot of the posting for the Shameless Picture Show. Nick does help with that one, though. You can find me at, I think it's just Michael Viers or Michael_Viers, pretty much everywhere. And then you can find us at the Shameless Picture Show and pretty much everything. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, though I don't use it very often because that still confuses me. I'm on Facebook. And then if you want to check out some of the shit I've made, since I'm a filmmaker as well, I've uploaded all of my films to YouTube.
Awesome.
Very nice.
There, you can find, just search Michael Viers and you can find all my films there. I'll have a new music video coming out soon for the Directionals. And a new film hopefully coming very soon.
Woo-woo! Very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited for that.
I'd just like to say, catch us next time. How did we decide we were going to do this? Shame time.
Shame time, shame channel. Shame place.
Shame station.
Something like that. We'll figure it out.
We'll work it out.
We'll work out the kinks. Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye. The Shameless Picture Show is recorded in Milwaukee, Wisconsin and Easton, Maryland, and is hosted and produced by Nick Richards and Michael Viers. Today's episode was edited by Nick Richards. Our opening theme music was written especially for us by The Directionals, with narration by Zach McLean. The end credit music you're enjoying at the moment was generously provided by my friends in the band 10 Speed. The Shameless graphic design is masterfully done by Amanda Viers. An extra special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters and to our generous sponsors. We are on Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, Google Play, and Libsyn. You can find links for all these amazing people in the description below.